Welcome to the Sara Finkelstein Show, where the next 10 minutes can change your life. Also on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. Here's Sara.
Hi, how are you today? You know what a hot topic is today? And maybe you do know because you might have seen ads on Facebook and other places talking about, yes, Social Security. It is definitely a hot topic. And how do I know that? Because when I offer an educational workshop on maximizing one's Social Security benefits, there is tremendous interest in that information, and people flock to these workshops because they want to know what they need to know so that they can make a wise decision. You're probably aware that you can start to collect your Social Security as early as age 62 and as late as age 70. So if you're older than 70, I hope that you are already collecting your Social Security benefits because there is no additional growth to waiting beyond age 70. Did you know that there are currently approximately 69, 70 million people receiving Social Security benefits? That equals 1.5 trillion with a T, $1.5 trillion paid out to Social Security beneficiaries every year. That is a huge, huge number. But have you also heard in the news that those benefits may be reduced because Social Security may be going broke? They're predicting that by 2033, which is less than 10 years from now, those people that are receiving Social Security will get 80% of their benefit. They won't get the full 100% of what they're entitled to. They will get 20% less. Now, I'm sure that they're working on rectifying the problem, but let me give you an example. They say that the average Social Security monthly benefit is $1,976. 20% reduction, which would mean instead of getting that, you would get $1,600 instead of $1,900 and change. If your benefit is $3,000 a month, that means you would get $2,400. And if your benefit is $4,000, that means that you would only get $3,000. That's a huge, huge difference. Do you know how many people are relying on receiving their Social Security benefit check? And when you get your Social Security, on average, it only represents about 40% of your pre-retirement income. So where's the other money going to come from? The extra 60% that we've gotten accustomed to living on during our working years. And during our working years, many of us tend to spend because we know there's another paycheck right around the corner. So let me give you the news of some of the possible changes to make Social Security solvent. As I said, the earliest you can collect is age 62. And when you do so, you will get a reduced amount. You won't get your full benefit. It'll be reduced. So instead of being able to start to collect your Social Security retirement benefits at age 62, that might be changed to waiting to age 65, the same age that we become, guess what, eligible for Medicare. For those people that are born in 1960 or thereafter, their full retirement age, meaning that's when they're entitled to get 100% of their benefit, is currently age 67. They might change that to age 70, meaning you have to wait longer to get 100% of your Social Security retirement benefit. How does it work when you're working? You pay into the system, right? That's called FICA taxes. Well, currently, you pay up to a ceiling, and that ceiling is $176,000. For those people that earn $500,000 or more, as an example, they're only paying FICA taxes up to that ceiling of $176,000. So maybe they will increase that ceiling, and maybe it'll be the ceiling is what you make. If you make $500,000, $1 million a year, you'll pay FICA taxes potentially on the full amount of your earnings. So what do you do when you retire? So typically we retire, we leave our job, right? We start living in our so-called golden years when we get to do what we've been postponing doing because of time and or money. And now we are officially retired. We can spend our days however we want to. So what do you do when you retire? You leave your job, yes, but you also leave your paycheck behind. You turn on your Social Security, and for most Americans, don't have a pension. But if you do have a pension, congratulations, you're one of the fortunate ones. What do you do for that income shortfall, which many of us will experience once we retire? There will be an income gap, and we'll need to do something about that so that we could stay retired, not have to go back to work, and enjoy our golden years. So there are strategies that we implement when we help people with retirement planning, and hopefully you're doing that. Of course, the sooner you do it, the better the results are. Sometimes people wait until the year before they retire or the month before they retire to start doing some planning. But planning is much more powerful if you do it earlier in the game rather than later in the game. However, it's better to do planning whenever you can. So if you wait, at least you're still doing some planning. That's the important thing. So there are strategies, there are solutions for all of these challenges that many of us will face in retirement. And let's not forget that long-term care planning is very important. Why? Because it is expensive, especially when you have to spend 100% of the cost out of your pocket. And oftentimes, for people that haven't done any long-term planning, they will deplete their retirement monies to pay for the care that they or their loved one needs. So long-term care is a very, very important piece of that retirement plan. So again, talk to us or talk to your advisor about how to maximize your income in retirement so that you can enjoy your retirement and do everything that you wanted and wished for. So let me just say, if you would like a copy of my book, there's two of them. There's a Medicare booklet for those people that are embarking on Medicare. And there's another book that I wrote called Wisdom for Women, which are both available on Amazon, but they're also available in an ebook version. So if you'd like a copy, just let me know. And we also do a monthly newsletter. So if you'd like to be put on our list to receive our monthly newsletter, just reach out and we'll be happy to do that, to share it with you. And lastly, if you've known anyone who has gotten a medical diagnosis, what happens is they rush out the door to get a second opinion. But let me ask you, when was the last time that you got a second opinion on your retirement plan, your financial plan? Your wealth monies. When was the last time you got a second opinion? So if you'd like to get a second opinion, reach out to me. You could text me for my book, my newsletter, or a second opinion, which is complimentary. And my cell phone to text is 561-302-5760. I look forward to hearing from you.
Knowledge is power, but only when you implement what you've learned to your own benefit. Tune in next time for even more powerful tips on the Sara Finkelstein Show.